Hey world, new China 3-door freezer ordered off of Amazon by the customer. This is the old true TS72F 15-year-old freezer coming out. Popping it open. We got these ones, by the way, they come on wheels already. The wheels are usually all the other freezers, everything comes without wheels on it, but this unit comes with you wheels on it already. So you got to take the wheels off if you go through the door. So, more work. And this unit's only 115 volt, 20 amp. There's your. So that's 115 volt, 20 amp. There's a little flash in it. It's like a little 3/4 horse they got on it. It's what they got in it. See if I can get that tag in focus. I don't know if I can. Maybe R290. Sorry for my hand. But 115 volt, 12.5 amps running load. Umbraco. So little guy. So the other unit uses a 1 horse. It's a 3/4 horse, so I think this is going to be a 3/4 horse. I don't know. Have to look that one up. Well, we got to take the wheels off. I think it'll fit. Oh, we just got to take the wheels off. Well, world, I actually got the freezer in place. I actually got it in there.
I won't be here tomorrow.
You better be here.
I'm not gonna have
it. So, what we did is it actually fit through the door. Actually fit through the damn door. Unbelievable. It actually fit. So I took all the cardboard off the thing, and what we did is it came with wheels on it. Sorry I didn't get any video, but it came with the wheels on it, so we have to take the wheels off, and then slide it onto those dollies, the 4-wheel dollies. But the 4-wheel dollies, they had them made up with little wheels on them. And that was the only way that they had those. And what we did is you could use just slide the machine off of that onto the 4-wheel dolly, and then we slid it on up to the doorway, and then we put it on pipes. I had a bunch of EMT pipes. I cut EMT to slide it along this floor in 3-foot pieces. So you just keep laying pieces of EMT all along the floor to get it, because it had to get under here. So this is, by 1 inch. So that's how we did that, and went all the way in. And so there's the old one now out. I gotta get that out tomorrow. Hopefully I get some video on that maybe tomorrow. But there's the new one in place. Have to take the shelf out. There's the electrician. We got no 115 volt because the other machine was 230 there. And so he's running some new 115. We couldn't take 115 leg out of that because somebody in their infinite wisdom put this freezer and that freezer, both those 1 horse, these true T72s, put them on 1 circuit on a 30 amp, 230 volt circuit. So that screwed us right over, because if that had been on a circuit, we could have pulled, because that's a 4-wire 230 and 115, could have pulled 1 leg off of that and used it, but we couldn't. So, but this thing, it's got like a 3/4 horse in it. It's got I don't know where the goddamn the coil. coil's way the hell back behind the drip pan. It's kind of cool. Big ass coil. Three fans. Big ass coil. Yeah, that's how they're doing it with it. We got like a 3/4 horse on there. But that's what the model on this thing is. Hey, this is for you, throttle. There you go. Look that up. Let's see what we got. Because I know you like to investigate stuff. Let me turn my light on here. I got a Dixel controller on this thing. Side R290, baby. There's your R290. 5 1/4 ounces. Technic parameter. 115 volts. Amps. There's all of them. Turn this thing sideways, maybe we can actually read the other part of the drawing. Okay, cool. See if that works. You get your R290 stickers all over this thing. R290. Boom. All stainless. Got a, what do we got? Dixel. This thing. What a pain in the ass getting these wheels off. Gonna cut the sons of bitches off. Way fun.
Hey guys, if you ever have any opportunity to buy these blades, don't. Piece of shit. Yes, these can't be made by Imperial. I don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to get the wheels off. It only works for like 1.5, maybe one wheel. Cutting them off with things like the blade's already junk. So don't buy these things. Piece of shit. Holy crap. Well, if you're gonna be cutting off wheels, you better have a lot of saw blades with you. Like one saw blade per wheel. If you use these piece of shit saw blades. Piece of shit. But anyways, and it looks like they got somebody else in to confirm that when I told them it's bad, somebody put a dryer in it. Somebody put a new clock in it when I told them the clock was bad. And it looks like somebody tried to put a cap tube in this old dog. I told them, fucking piece of shit. The oil's overheated and plugged up the cap tube. Still didn't do them any good. They wasted all that money. Yep. They didn't believe me. Somebody tried to do a capper on it. Don't work. You got to replace the compressor. When their freezers only do 25 degrees.
Okay guys, I had to delete the original audio on this because it had kitchen music in the background, but here's the new freezer on the right that I just installed, and the left freezer here was the same as the other freezer, true T72F, and it just died. So, or just stopped, it froze up. So so it's got an issue. So temp checking it, finding it's like 65 degrees. That's not gonna work. So I had to do a voiceover here because it had kitchen music in the background, so I'm redoing it right now. So I think I'm showing here that I had my mirror up there. Yeah, that it's all froze up. So freeze up is either going to be probably most likely defrost clock or heating elements. In this particular case, it was the center door switch. There's 3 door switches along this T72F, one on each door. So you got to check each door individually, and looks like somebody has shimmed up the other 2 doors. Here I'm finding that the discharge air coming down from the bottom is pretty hot. Felt a little bit, usually after you've been doing this trade long enough, you kind of, when you feel that there's too much heat in the area, that'll tell you that there's a clogged condenser. When you've been doing it a long time like I have, ambient in the kitchen's like 75, and you just
Okay, so let's see what we got here for defrost clock. Oh, we're not in defrost yet. We're just about to go into defrost. 6 p.m.
I think, hang on. No, it's later than that. Hang on, it's like, hang on. It's like 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay, so this clock is a 2016 clock. So, clock's relatively new. So, let's see what we got here for defrost amps. Normally open load is off of 1. So right there. Okay, so 1 is the pink wire, so at least they're consistent with true. Your pink wires, always your defrost amps. So let me see if I can grab some amps on here. We'll throw this sucker into defrost. We got enough defrost, 30 minutes. Should be fine. Let's see. Let's see if it goes into defrost. Nope. Not going into defrost. Oh, now it did. Let's see if we got any amps. So hang on.
Okay, so put my amp probe on the pink wire here, and we got 8 amps. So that pretty much tells you that you got some amp draw and your heaters should be working. So kind of don't like that I found the thing that it didn't go into defrost when I first did that first click. So I'm not liking that clock, even though it's only 2 years old. Hey guys, if you found hey, just wanted to mention also, that's, you unplug the condensing unit right there, and then you can flick the clock around to do all your clock messing without slamming the condensing unit on and off. So that's a little trick for the new guys out there. Unplug the condensing unit, and then you can turn the clock without banging the compressor on and off. So I don't like that it didn't go into defrost on that first click, so I'm not liking that clock. That timer motor was, I pulled it out and the timer motor was smoking hot. That thing was, you couldn't even put your hand on the little timer motor in the back. So wondering, have you guys had any 2-year-old clocks that die, that are no good? So I don't think I've ever replaced one that early in life. But wondered what you guys' take on it. So got 8 amps going up, and the defrost heating element did start to melt the ice. So I forget what I'm talking about here. I had to redo this video because the kitchen music got flagged by YouTube. So anyway, so I gotta remember that. Don't be talking if the kitchen music is on. So or don't do any video recording in the kitchen if the kitchen music is on. And I think here, yeah, I just turned the elements on, so it hasn't quite. I just put it into defrost, so it hasn't started melting, but it does start to melt. And like I said, I don't know what I was talking about here. This kind of sucks that I had to redo the video because the kitchen music, but anyways, this I'm talking about the model number. TS-72F means, for new guys, T means true, S means stainless, dash 72 is 72 inches wide, the freezer, and F means F for freezer. So that's how you read a true model number. And I wish they'd put the defrost heater amps on these tags. That would have been nice. But would be nice, true, if you're watching this, if you'd put the defrost amps that you're supposed to have. That'd be kind of cool. And I don't know what. I think I'm just rechecking to see if it started melting. I think I just started noticing that it was starting to melt. Maybe not. These are some stills, I guess. Yeah, a couple of stills.
I am noticing the amps are dancing all over the place, though. Amps are down to 6 amps. Let's see if it's a contact thing or... Oh, we're back up on this other, when I re-clicked it, I'll bet the back of that clock is burning. 8 amps. 2-year-old clock, no wonder. I'm going to shut that thing down for a second and check the back of this clock.
Okay, so I'm pulling the clock out here and I'm feeling the timer motor on this thing. I don't know why I decided to feel the timer motor on this. I don't usually do that, but for some reason I did, and it's smoking hot, man. It's so hot it'd burn your fingers. And that pull-off thing looks awful close to it and kind of melted. So, yeah, I had to do this, like I said, the voiceover because of the kitchen music. So I'm redoing this here. Sorry, guys, about the delay. Usually I put up a video every Saturday morning at 3 a.m. West Coast time, so it arrives for the 6 a.m.ers in East Coast. But, yeah, here I am just temp checking the that timer motor, and the timer it still was showing that the timer was were running when I turned it back on. The little wheel inside there was turning, but for 2 years old, this thing sure is burned up, and I don't know why it's burned up when I don't even believe that this doesn't even take compressor. I don't even think it takes, well, maybe it takes one side of the amp load. I haven't looked at the wiring diagram to see how that thing's wired in. Must be on the compressor amps, must be on the load side. Would have been smart if they had to put this clock on the control side of the relay, because there's a relay in for the compressor. And I don't know why they're switching one of the load legs, but that's what they must be doing to get that kind of wear. It wouldn't have any wear on it if was on the control side of the relay. It's obviously on the load side. But yeah, only January 2016. There's a date code on the timing motor. 115 volt is your 120 volt, whatever you want to call it, timing motor, an 8141. And can't see what I'm looking at here, so I forget what I was saying in the video. Obviously, you can't have the original original audio. I know what I'm looking at here. Which connections are the power connections for the timer motor? It's coming off of X and 1, I believe. Yeah, for your, I believe it is. I can't see through. There's a thing on my timer motors. No, excuse me, X and 3. Yeah. So X and 3 is a T. There's your T on the T for timer motor. So yeah, I'm just going to check the voltage to it and see if the voltage, and I did check the voltage. It was like 117 volts, so that's good. But like I said, that timer motor was smoking hot, and then I just don't like this clock, even though it's only 2 years old. I don't like it.
Okay, so
I want to replace it. I've asked them if I can replace it.
saw one wire that was
See how the thing works.
wrong there on number 2. Redid that.
Got to get authorization to
8 amps
replace it.
again, but look in here. We got
Here I
water
am
dripping
checking
in
the
here.
electrical box and noticing that some water
and we got a burned.
dripped in there. The burned connection.
Replacing this
There's your,
relay.
one of the load wires
Probably 2.
on the load side of that relay. That's a compressor relay right there.
No bueno.
Pretty common
Got a
that
burned
those things
connection
burn.
on here.
That relay's probably original too. It's probably 15 years old, so I want to replace that relay also.
Getting hot.
I don't know what kind.
That's
I
your
wish you
load.
could see inside those things. I don't know if you guys have any ideas on how do you guys ever pop those things open and
I thought that was the
check them
cool
out
side, the
inside
smaller.
them
I have to look on.
to see if they're in need of replacement, or do you just change them out? But I'm going to recommend changing out that connector on that piece of wire and
Might have one of those
recommend
relays.
replacing the relay. If he wants to get some decent reliability
Nice water dripping in the box.
out of this
I
freezer.
love when there's water dripping in
And
like
he only
the
needs
box.
3 to 5
Not-
years out of this place anyhow. They're saying they're going to tear the building down 3 to 5 years anyhow
Not a
and
good
do a
deal.
remodel, everything from the ground up. So
Not a good deal.
we'll see. But here, one
So you
talk
always want to
about,
do it what's
checking
called
all
a
your,
service loop or a drip
wire
loop, where your wires
connectors
come
that,
down. Your wires come down
have
and
the
go back
wires
up again.
always going
so
down
if the water ever drips on
and then
something,
back up again.
it'll drip
So
down to the
it's
bottom
called a
of the
drip
wire
loop.
and then drip off.
So
then
there's
you
a
come
little,
back
there's
up
a little
to where
drips
you
of
need to
water
go.
going
It's
into
called
this
like
box.
a service loop or a drip loop.
So if that does
So,
ever happen,
anyways,
the water
our
will
load.
drip down the wire and drip off the
And there's your
bottom
compressor
of the
load
U part
wires.
of the
Yeah, so
drip loop.
there's your
So
plug.
you have your
right
wire
here.
go down all the way to the bottom of the box,
In here,
then back
go to the
up to
compressor.
wherever you need to go
Yeah,
into
it was right.
in the box. So any water that is condensation or anything that would get into the box on occasion
Neutral.
would run down the wire and just fall off the bottom of the U on the wire. Kind
Yeah,
of a
neutral
trick that you learn over
on
the years.
there.
Also, you want to
And
check
then
those
we got the black
plastic
wire going
to
here.
butt connect
Yeah, so-
plastic wire nuts that they're not a wire nut,
Yeah,
but they're just a
these
wire
are
connector. Sometimes they
side of
crack and
the,
the tops fall, plastic parts fall
relay,
off.
so that must be
So you
loose
wanna
or something.
Make sure you don't have any
They
bare
always
metal
get
or anything.
melted.
Those
I always
things have
noticed
a
that.
bad habit of falling off.
Connection.
Also here I'm just mentioning that there's the burn
Too small a wire, in my
overheated,
opinion, for
connector
1-horse compressor.
on that relay.
I'd like
so,
to be, that's like freaking 16 gauge or something. Like, what is it?
and,
Can't see it, but it's fucking small. Should be 12 gauge. I don't like using anything smaller than 12 gauge for everything.
I think I'm just,
Anyways, so we're
talking
still
about the,
amping. So we got good amps
still have
now.
amps. We're still
Yeah,
in
that's
defrost.
just what's
It
going on
hasn't
is
pulled
that
out.
a timer motor.
The amps were only
just
there was
smoking
only
over
30
medium.
minutes of defrost. Sit on that
so-
for that use old of a box. I'd rather it
Time to
reset.
replace the
I
clock.
reset it at
Out
45
of clocks
or
on my truck
55.
right now. I have to grab one tomorrow.
You wanted at least minimum
Right.
45 minutes. Then just use the pull off. I know a guy that
I wonder.
would set all his clocks at 60 minutes and just let the pull off,
Wonder if I could
as long as the pull off is
this out.
done, you know, just let them always temp
See if
out
the-
and
looks like
de-energize
it's
that way,
turning.
which I
Got
think is
the
a pretty
there
good
you
with
can
it.
see the
But
little thing turning.
I think 60. But see, you can see there that the clock's running. Had it off for a little while, and
Still, it's way too freaking hot. That's
but
damn
like
sure.
I said, I still don't like this clock. I want to get rid of this clock.
And those points are.
It is running, and looks like it's kind of working at this time. And it does
See,
go
I'll
through a
just
full
leave this
defrost
thing out
cycle.
and see if it
It
stops
didn't pull out
turning.
early. There wasn't extra,
Let it
ice
run
left
for a
on the
bit.
coil or
Probably had it
anything.
off
So,
for a few minutes, might have cooled down.
go through
See if
a,
that stops turning.
and it pulled out on the temperature
we're
thing. You know, when the
defrosting.
front of the coil
we got our
defrosts
amps.
from the back first, so you'll see the back
coil's
defrosting.
defrosting.
But
And we only been in
you'll
defrost
notice
for
that
about
the front of the coil,
15
if you look
minutes,
through the
probably.
fans,
on and off,
it'll
not
still
even,
have
so it's
ice on it. So
We're
usually
gonna
the
heat
back
it fast.
defrosts first. The back's defrosting here, and it's still in
Defrosting
defrost.
fast.
And
So,
it took about 40 minutes, I believe, for that evaporator to defrost. It was froze up pretty good. It was froze up across the front, solid.
Okay, whenever you put your
think I'm,
wires back into these boxes,
Showing here about
Always
how you
put
put
'em
your
back
wires
in
back in the box.
with the connections
You want to have all
facing
your
up,
connectors facing up.
so they don't fill with water.
So again, if any water
And
gets
then
into the
route
box,
your wires down, like I
notice
said,
you
like a drip loop.
should get in that
So,
habit. And then I'm
Tuck
demonstrating
you can tuck
here.
your neutral in the side of that
Put the
relay
connector
in there.
vertically
Run
in
your
the box
wires down
here,
like that.
and have the wires.
That way,
As you'll notice, all the
a
wires,
little bit better.
that white
Getting a
wire,
little
the
bit of water
neutral,
in there, that's probably
is
why.
going down to the bottom of the
Not good.
box, and then it comes back up. This box is up at 60 degrees, so why there's a little condensation coming into the box there is because the insulation has actually got some moisture inside of it, and the actual insulation inside the box is, so the box is basically, the walls are getting waterlogged with moisture, with water, so the box is on its way out, that's for sure. A true box of 15 years old is pretty much done. So, the inside is getting waterlogged, so then you don't have any. Then you have a bunch of thermal conductivity from the outside, but the moisture inside the walls of the box will start conducting cold from inside to the outside of the box. And anyways, here I'm showing the condenser. I think that's a couple of stills before I clean it.
Okay, pulling this little
I
bad boy
pull
out.
the condensing unit
Do a
out.
good
Since it's
condenser
been off,
cleaning on
you
it.
very rarely
Take out the screen
get
too.
the
Always
time.
get rid of these fucking screens.
Here I'm also talking about these
The
screens.
worst
I absolutely
freaking
hate
thing.
these
They don't let the
screens.
heat
I
out.
always get rid of them.
Then you can clean them.
They serve no purpose in my mind. They only hurt the unit. They're supposed to be there so so mice don't get caught under the fan blade. Thinking I've only had like 2 mice ever I've seen, and that's like, I think I've only had 1 in a restaurant or something that was caught in the fan blade, but it's pretty rare. It does more harm than good. It's better off to remove these rear screens. All they do is get clogged up with dirt and don't let the heat out. So I always recommend get rid of those wire screens. Just get rid of them. They're absolutely terrible. They don't let the heat out from the condenser. And here it is, and they don't they're hard to clean, and nobody can clean them, and real pain in the rear. When you get rid of them, then you can get your actual air hose in the back. You can blow the coil backwards. That's what I did. Whenever you get to a box, a freezer that's not off very often,
Refrigeration, a 3-door.
and if it's up at 60 degrees, everything's defrosted, so you can pull it out real easily. So do it and clean it up. When the box is off. So that's what I opted to do on this one. Clean up the front, do a decrease on the coil, and that's the water that I pull off of the coil. And it was dirty, man. It needed a good cleaning. So I think this might be when I'm done with the cleaning. Yeah, this is it turned out sweet. I couldn't. It was blocked halfway through. 50% of that coil was blocked with internally of that coil, and now you can see through it. See with the light, you can see daylight all the way through. Came out really sweet, and it pulls down pretty fast too now. it got to 11 degrees before I left, and it only took like 45 minutes. So it's pretty darn good going, I think. So I think it's alright. 2012 H compressor. Looks like somebody put a compressor in it. So you'll see that later on in the video. But this is me just checking the backside of the coil and stuff. But I cleaned up. I also wiped the fan blades down, scrub them with a 3M pad, with a green pad, because they get hard, crusty stuff on there, and they don't scoop air, pull air good. So I always give them a little scrub too, and wipe the front and the back side of the blade, and clean up those blades, man, and give them a good degrease. Well, I'll tell you, extend the life of the unit for at least a year or two, if not more, if you keep blowing it out, you know. And here's, I pushed it back into place. Always got to remember when you're pulling those things out and pushing them back into place that you got to watch that rear tubing, that you don't, twist it or pull it out too far, or pull on it too bad. So it's always best to do it when it's up. You never want to pull those units out if they've just been running. You always want to wait a minimum of 15 minutes so that the line defrosts. You never want to pull out a frozen line. You can snap it. I've done that bigger than shit once before. This I'm showing the rear, the fans running and all what it looks after cleaning. I put a couple of new 5/16 screws in the front there, and somebody had made a sheet metal cover for this.
2-year-old clock.
Which whoever did that,
Make sure this thing
thank
gets
you, man.
cold.
That's an awesome deal. I don't know if it was you, Merritt. I don't know, but it looks like
somebody made a metal cover.
looks like maybe you put some dye in this. Looks like maybe you worked on it, or one of your guys.
That's bitching.
Somebody put dye in it. It's got that yellow jacket dye sticker on the front, which you'll notice if I get back to the front. But there's the fans running. Everything looks good, and I'm just kind of feeling it with my hands. And hot gas line is really hot. It's doing work. It feels like it's full of refrigerant. Hot gas line is hotter than shit, and
hot gas line is
liquid line is cool.
That's nice.
Like ambient temperature, so the condenser's working really good. So that's how you can tell, guys, just if you want to do a touchy feel type of thing. You feel your hot gas line, and it's ready to burn your arms. I want to start using my temp clamps, those Testo temp clamps, and actually checking temperatures more often on the hot gas line. Never did that back in the old days when I started in the 80s and 90s. Temp check hot gas lines. I was taught the old touch feel method.
Oh my god! I smashed my
70s.
I smashed my iPad in the door of my truck. So
actually,
gotta get a new
late 60s and 70s. There's the yellow jacket dye sticker. So somebody put dye in it.
Another thing you guys got to watch out for is somebody took all the screws out of up here.
Here.
That holds these door switches up
Oh
here.
yeah, this is when I found the door switch cover. Somebody had taken all those 3 screws out, all those little screws that hold that cover on, and didn't put the cover back on right.
So you gotta watch your door switches and make
looks
sure
like the
everything's
door,
working.
also the top of the door kind of got,
That's what I gotta check
got ripped,
next,
like
make sure that this
something
one's-
got cut or something on the top
looks
of
a
it.
little-
And part of the plastic was hanging off, and the door switch
think
was
it's
all
actually working. I
torqued,
hear
like
the
it got
fans
caught
going.
on the door switch and like ripped it all out. It's like it was just something happened on top of that door. I don't know what. But
Yeah.
probably from the cover not being attached, or. And I hate it when people don't at least put a couple of screws back in. This thing had absolutely
think so,
0
yeah.
screws in that top rail cover.
Well, she's getting cold though.
Here I'm checking the
Freaking
temperature, I remember.
Way cold.
And it was real cold, real
there.
fast. Within like 10 minutes, the back of that coil was like ice. And this is my startup on it. After about 10 minutes, down to 42 degrees. So that's good. And
Okay, world. Hey, I was just wondering what you
then
guys are doing for
about another 10 minutes.
door switches that don't quite make it.
It was down there's
I
the
just
door
did a little
switch.
bit
Hey,
of
this is what I'm asking you guys. What's the hot ticket, guys?
Right now, temporary.
for what do you
what
do
guys-
when you've
what's a
got
hot
the
ticket,
top
guys?
of
Some
it's
guy-
not high enough
Like somebody put a
to make the
piece of
door
plastic
switch?
here with a couple of screws.
Looks like somebody put these little plastic shims
Top
up
of
there.
this one.
Or I don't know if that's factory on
What's
this
the hot
particular
ticket,
model.
guys?
I don't believe
Besides,
it is,
like,
but what I just did there is
the top
I've
cover off and strapping a
just
piece
put
of
a
metal
little
across
piece-
the door switch, or
little piece
pulling
of
the door
cardboard
switch
under some duct
entirely
tape
out and just
duct
jumper in it.
taped a cardboard little
but
ramp, you know, for it.
This
But
one doesn't
what's the
look like-
hot
oh,
ticket?
looks
What are
like
you
somebody
guys
put a piece
doing?
of plastic on the
Are you
top
guys
now.
just bypassing
Maybe
the door
they come with
switches?
plastic on the top of them. I don't know.
Are you
I
guys
don't-
putting plastic pieces,
I
or
don't know.
where are you getting your plastic
I don't
pieces?
remember.
What are you using?
I don't think they do usually.
What's the hot ticket?
don't
Or
think I
do you just
remember.
strap it up with a piece of
I'm
sheet
getting
metal?
old.
You know,
Anyways,
a piece
let me
of
know what the
plumber's tape and a
hot
couple of
ticket is.
screws. I mean, that's another
We're
way
down
you could
about
just
40
keep the door
degrees.
switch
It's only been running about
running all the time.
10 minutes
Have
or
you guys
so,
done
so
that?
it's
Have you
pretty
found
cool.
any problems with doing that?
Hopefully it goes down.
So let me know. Okay, we got 11:45 p.m. We got 39 degrees, and still 11:45 p.m. 39 degrees. Then 11:55 p.m. 10 minutes later, dropped 10 degrees, 20 to 29 degrees. Now it's 12:03 a.m. 22 degrees. So 12:11 looks like 17 degrees, and at 12:20 we got 11 degrees. So worked pretty good. Working pretty good. Trying to think, what is that? It's about 45 minutes or something down to about 11 degrees. So it's pretty good. So anyways, click like on the video if you could, subscribe, and take care. Have a good one, guys. Bye.